In today's class, we are going to be making party favor bath salts. Now, these can be used for showers, wedding showers, baby showers. They're perfect for that, but they can really be adapted to any time you want a sweet favor, particularly for women, but it doesn't have to be. Men like to take baths too sometimes. So I will go over the supplies and the tools that we will be using today. First of all, the tools. We have a hole punch, teaspoons. This is a teaspoon and a half teaspoon. The size will vary depending on the volume you want to make. So you'll probably be working more with tablespoon or half a cup measures. If you're going to be making a lot, we're just going to do small small samples today for demonstration purposes. Scissors always comes in handy, and assortment of small bowls is helpful. Now, in terms of our supplies, we will be using coarse grained sea salt, natural magnesium sulfate crystals, otherwise known as Epsom salts, and dried rose petals. Now these, as you will see, are optional and also can be substituted for other types of dried fragrant flowers or herbs. We have good old baking soda, food colors. These could be any brand or variety you like. They have more natural ones, powders. These happen to be the gel colors by Wilton, yellow, pink, green, and blue, but whatever you like, whatever's appropriate for the color scheme that you want. Essential oils. Now this is a really nice set that, of course, you can use any essential oils that you want for the fragrances you want to achieve. Sometimes it's hard to open the box, but I really enjoy this set, especially because it comes with its own tiny eye drop. And the selection is really nice. This has chamomile, jasmine, geranium, lavender, rose, and yang yang. Put that over there. Selection of ribbons. This is just a cute little pack that I found, which comes in, I think it's 3-foot lengths, assorted colors. This is the 1/8-inch width. You can get different widths, but I wouldn't go bigger than a 1/4 inch unless you're making really big jars like for a gift. But since these are for favors, they're going to be in small containers. Let's see, I have room, put this over here. And of course, bottles or jars. You can get these in all different sizes. These are 50 millimeter, I think. 50 millimeter, they're about an inch high, maybe an inch and a half. A little cork stopper, really perfect for little favor size, but there are all different sizes of these jars. You can go smaller or bigger as you like. Alright, so what I like to do is lay out my supplies. Oh, and I forgot about this again. It's optional, depending on what you want to decorate your jars. These little stickers, little washi tape stickers. You may have seen them if you watched the last, or if you attended the last class on our little potpourri sachets. We used these too. Yeah. Well, here's an example of one of the smaller jars. We'll be doing another class using seeds and these small jars, by the way. So look out for that. So this is a cute little set. It includes 6 different booklets, all kinds of pictures, all different colors. You can get a lot of these different kinds of these. So usually when you look for washi, you find the washi tapes. So you have to look a little harder to find these sticker books, but they're out there. They're super cute. The paper dolls. This one is, I think, a vintage theme. It's pretty, like a map with a woman's profile. Alright, so it's over here. So let's put some of our main ingredients into bowls here. Now you can buy any kinds, any brands really that you like. These are the same kind that you can eat. It's basic sea salts. You can get different coarser grinds. These I like because they look like tiny sea glass, really. They're really nice. So I'll put some in the bowl here. And then you can see how they look there. Don't have much of an aroma. And then we will get our Epsom salts open. Now these actually already have some essential oils in them. You probably want to start with just the plain, but this is what I happen to have found for today's class. But you can buy them in larger quantities, of course, than this. So if you're making, depending on how many flavors, you can decide how much you need to buy. Okay. So since we will be adding, there you can see the tiny little crystals of a slight lavender hue to these ones, although usually when you buy them they'll be plain clear, whitish clear. We will be adding the coloring and the essential oils, so I don't want to use my bowls because you might stain them with the coloring. You can use disposable plastic bowls if you want to, but I am choosing to do and not have to worry about staining. I'm using these not Ziploc, but these kind of little baggies. This is the snack size. The basic ratios vary depending on what recipe you look up. Different people have different ratios, but the one I like is 3 teaspoons. I'm going to use teaspoons. Basically, 3 of the Epsom salts. Put it in the bag. So I'm just doing 3 teaspoons of that. 4 teaspoons of the sea salts. 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'm just going to do a small one because I'm going to show how to doing different colors. And then the baking soda. Baking soda helps alleviate any skin irritation and softens the water as well. So it's 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. Okay. And the bath salts in soaking to get toxins out of the body. These salts really draw out the toxins in your skin. The Epsom salts are anti-inflammatory and really help relaxing muscles. So it's a combination of that with the baking soda makes a very emollient, soft soap for your bath. So before we add anything else, I'm going to stir it around a little bit. Make sure, especially that the baking soda is well mixed up. I was already thinking about how you could use these. There's so many different things you could do with these. I saw gifts. Alright. So now this is where the fun begins, because you get to choose what scent do you want and what color do you want. Now, if they're wedding favors, you can match the colors of the wedding party, the bridal party, which is always kind of fun to have special favors for wedding shower or something like that. So we are going to do I think a pink. So let's see. Got the pink food coloring. Now the amount of food coloring varies depending on your preference. It can be strong, so I recommend starting with just 1 drop, mixing it up, and seeing how you like it. So be careful because some of the droppers come out quickly. Plop. Okay, that's just 1 drop. filters here left over from another class. Okay. There we go. Once again, these can be very strong, so I would start with 1 drop, especially for this small amount. I would suggest experimenting with a small amount. Once you find what you like, and if you're going to make, 20 or 30 for party favors or something, then you can always scale up. Oops, this has the dropper, I forgot. This is supposed to come out. Wait a minute. Yeah, the little plastic piece didn't come out. Alright, it's always something that happens in class that is unexpected. There we go. There's a little plastic cap, which should come out with the lid, but it didn't. Okay. It smells just like rose. It's wonderful. These are really nice, by the way. Alright, I'm going to put in 1. Well, let's put in 2 drops. What the heck? 1, 2. Put the rest in the bottle. Put the lid back on. Oops, now I cooked up. I got the little plastic thing stuck. Maybe you can leave those out. I don't know. Helps keep the fragrance in, I think. Okay, so now you can use a spoon, or you can just kind of use the brush technique. Basically what we're doing is trying to spread both the essential oil and the coloring. And I will close this zip. Or don't spill it. Probably too loud. So you can see we have a nice soft pink. Now you can also do 2. We could fill 1 bottle with all pink, or if you want to, let's say there are 2 colors you want to match, bridal colors or something, wedding colors, you can layer them. So you could have a pink layer and a green layer, or a bit yellow, whatever their 2 colors are. But for this purposes, we'll just do the 1. Move this over here. And let me check the fragrance. Yes, it's wonderful. Wonderful rose fragrance. Okay, now we've got our bottle. And if you are using the rose petals or another type of dried flower, you only want to fill it up about 2/3 of the bottle. I could try to pour it from the plastic bag, but I might spill it all over the place, so I don't want to take that chance. Because when you're doing live things, whatever could go wrong tends to go wrong. Alright. That is an old adage that you're probably familiar growth in this. You're very young. Okay. So now it's about 3/4 full, 2/3 full. You can see the sun. So pretty. And there's a little sun spilled on the table here. We add that back in. Alright, so now you can leave it like that, but for an extra touch, I like to put in some rose petals, because when you add this to the bath, the rose petals will hydrate in the warm water, and who doesn't like a bath floating with rose petals? You can also use, if you remember these sachets that we made last month, you can get any kind of dried flowers that go well with your color scheme, that have a nice fragrance, would be nice in the bath. So a lot of these options would work well. Alright, so let's open our rose petal container. Try not to make too much noise. They still have a nice rose fragrance. So just put some of those in the top of your container. Like that. So when you dump this into your bath, the bath salts will melt into the water, creating all the nice fragrance and all the skin emollients, and you get the floating rose petals to make it even more luxurious. So if you're happy with that, put in your little cork stopper. Make sure it's in there securely. Now, since it's cute, but we want to go cuter, right? Cute is the name of the game. So you can do different things. You can use the washi tapes. The washi stickers to decorate the bottles. You can, oh wow, I just happened to open to this. How do you like that? Roses. Who knew? Alright, well, how to use that one. Now there's a couple of ways you can use these. You can peel off the backing, and then you get a very fine semi-translucent sticker. Now these are a little bit too big for the size of the bottle, so you can cut them if you want. You can also, this is what the whole bunch is for. I think this is too pretty to cut. I don't want to cut it. So you can make a little tag with your hole punch. You can write your message on here, if you, whatever it is, like if it's a wedding shower, you can have the date, wedding party and the date, or whatever you want. And then you can take your ribbons. I really like these because you get lots of different colors, and you don't need to buy like 20 yards or something. So since we're doing the pink theme, I am going to pick a pink ribbon. Of course I am. And let's hope it doesn't get too tangled up. Oh my goodness. This is the first one I've used. Okay. seems to be attached to the black one, oddly. Oh, are they all attached? No, that can't be right. Alright, let me cut that. So there's a couple ways you can use the ribbon. Better close this up. Keep that fragrance sharp. Okay. Oops, there's a bit more sun in here. If you are using a tag, you can do it with the ribbon all in one piece. If you're not using a tag, if you're using a washi sticker, let's demonstrate. Can I find another rose? There's another, looks kind of like a rose. So this one I'm going to cut just to show you how you can use the sticker to decorate the glass. Now, it's probably a good idea if you're going to apply a sticker to wash this with an astringent like alcohol or witch hazel or something along those lines to make sure to get any oils off. I've been handling it, so it probably has some oil, but I'm not going to do that part now. And I'm going to cut a small portion of this because I just want to have a little decoration on the jar. Just cut the top part where the flowers are. You can use the leaves for another jar. And then you just apply it. I like lining it up along the bottom, but however you like to do it, it's fine. So that just makes a pretty enhancement to the bottle. Also, they can reuse the bottle once they've had their nice bath to keep whatever cotton balls, whatever they like. So it's nice to have a little pretty bottle. And then you would take your ribbon, cut. I would start with about a foot to begin with. These scissors are not very sharp. Excuse me. And tie a little bow. Now you can do a knot first because doing a bow doesn't always work so well, but let's try it. So I made a kind of big loop, so now I'm pulling them smaller. There. I'm going to fluff up the loops a bit. And if you like, you can curl the ends like you do in your gift wrapping package. Just a little bit to get a little bit of curl. Because why not? Be careful you don't untie your bow. Oh, you know what? I don't think the curling works so much on these. These are fabric ribbons, not paper ribbons. Alright. Paper ribbon curls much better. Did give a little bit of a curl to it, but not too much. Alright. And then if you could just leave it like that. But if you want to have a little memento, you can add this onto the ribbon before you tie the bow, or just add it onto one of the loops. Oh, that doesn't look that great. Alright, let's redo this. See, always learn something when I do the class every time. So this time I'm going to put this through first, and then do my loop, then do the bow around the front here. Okay, let's move afterwards. Do my bow over again. There's my bow. I think I want a little bit smaller loops. There. There you have. You can put this wherever you want. You've got a little message on here. John and Mary's wedding, June 20. Or you can memorialize the shower itself. You know, John, wedding shower for Betty Sue. You know, May 7th, whatever. Or the wedding date, whatever you want to do. And these make the sweetest little favors, party favors, shower favors. And you would have them all lined up. You can have different colors. So when your guests come in, they're ooh and ah. So let's try another one. I want to try the layered look. So I'm going to pour the rest of the pink. I want to waste it into here. This one we'll do a little faster because I don't have to explain everything. I think I'll make a smaller amount. I'll do 2 to 1. Make a little bit less. Alright, a little bit more. That. Fill the jar. Don't forget the baking soda. So just be about a 1/4 teaspoon this time. Stir it up. Now, what goes along with pink for the other layer? I do pink and green. That's very springy. Pink and yellow. Pink and blue is. Oh, you could do pink and blue if it was a baby shower, like especially, or if it was a reveal party. You could do them in pink and blue. Let's try that. Definitely just 1 drop of the blue because it's going to be strong. The darker colors usually are stronger. Pink and blue. What will the baby be? And our fragrance for our baby reveal party. Let's see. Jasmine, geranium, lavender. I think jasmine. I love jasmine. It's the jasmine. Now for the rose, I put in 2 drops. See, that came out right. Okay. This is a little smaller quantity, so I'm just going to do 1. Well, 1.5. Okay. Oh wow, they are so good. This particular brand. What is it? EUQEE. Oopsie, it's not spelled ones you have. I just happen to luck out and get these really nice ones. And I've got jasmine on my hands. And you're not supposed to leave it directly on your skin, but what the heck. Close this up. Mix it up away from the sun. It's a very pretty blue. Now, unfortunately, not quite enough of the pink. All right. I am going to take this one apart. Just pretend you're not watching this. Pretend you didn't see this. So anyway, to use that, you just dump. This is enough for one bath, so dump the whole thing in the bath. You take out the rose petals. And I'm going to borrow some of this pink to show you how it looks when you have the mixed two colors. I think the gender reveal party idea is so cute. Got a rose leaf in there. That's where these come in handy. So now I've got about half pink. Let's try pouring this without spilling it. All right. Again. Smells so good in here. Is that about right? Maybe a little bit more than blue than pink, but it's about half. Isn't that sweet? Now you could get really creative with your ribbons. I wouldn't put petals in the gender reveal one. You certainly could if you wanted to, but it kind of wrecks the pink and blue theme. Unless you had pink and blue flowers, but I'm just going to skip that part. And you probably want to fill it full enough so that it, when the stopper goes in, it keeps this from moving around when you shake it, because you want to have those two layers. So when it's full, it's going to keep it compact. Okay. You could do pink and blue ribbon if you wanted to. Be fancy. Let's see, this is a very light pink. This is the one we used on that. Could do, there's a darker blue. We could do a darker blue and a darker pink, like that, or a light blue and a light pink. I'm feeling very pastel-y, so I think a light blue and light pink. And this was about 12-inch length, which is a little longer than you need. I'm going to try about 10 inches or 11 inches this time. What's wrong with these scissors? Okay. Now, once again, you can do a washi tape if you want, or, of course, a tag. I wonder if I can find anything about babies. Got butterflies. Lots of butterflies in here. Maps. Maps is good if that's a bon voyage type of party. Not so much for babies. Right. This one looks pictures like from newspapers and magazines. Maybe there's some little children. I think I saw there's some paper dolls. It's like apothecary patterns, furnishings. There's a corset, boots, shoes. Oh, cute little sewing pattern. Cute as cute can be. Alright, there's one more. There's some pink and blue. Well, this is more promising. The last one I looked at. Some pinks, blue, pink and blue. Okay, there we go. Pink and blue. Looks just like this. It's amazing. Alright, let's do a little one of these. And once again, I will cut it. It's good to start the peel before you cut, because sometimes it can be hard to get the corners loosened. And you can go crazy trying to do it. Okay. There we go. Alright, so this one I'll do a bit shorter than the other one because I don't want to cover the beautiful appearance. Do just about half an inch. That. Do it right across the center. So just a little extra touch, decoration. And then we got our pink and blue ribbons. I think I cut the ribbon too short this time. I'm just doing them together. Yeah. Oops. I think I'm going to do a knot because I cut the ribbon too short. So go back to the, I must have done more like 14 inches. Alright. This one I just did a knot, and you can leave it as that, which is cute. You can try the curlicue method again, because it kind of half worked last time. Let's see if I can get it to work. Maybe I didn't do it hard enough. Let's see. Or maybe I didn't do it with the right side of the grain. No, it's not really working. Oh well. So, there is your little favor for your gender reveal party. I don't really like the way this looks, but you get the idea. I think I like it better without. Oh, I have an idea. You could cover the entire thing with label, have all the bottles be either blue or pink, cover the whole thing, and then when they pulled off the sticker, they would see what color it is. Alright, that's a little low tech, but what the heck? So we're not blowing anything up. Maybe vertical work? I don't know. It's not crazy about it in this particular case. Maybe it's too small. Let me try this. Pink and blue. That was a little bit too long. Also, you know what's cute is if you have those scissors that cut in different shapes, like scallops, zigzags, you know. You can cut these into those shapes. It would make a lot cuter sticker. So that looks a little bit better. It's got the pink you still want to be a little fancy, you can get one of your dried flowers. I'm just going to rob this sachet here we made in the last class. I can't open it because of the tag. I tied a knot. Silly. So this is the plum, red plum, dried flower. Really cute. It happens to have a stem on it, which you could, you could poke it into the stopper, except for it just broke. Anyway, you could hot glue, which I don't have any hot glue. You could hot glue a little dried flower on top if you wanted to, or something like along those lines. You could do a rose petal. You can do some of the washi sticker on the top as well. You can fold the washi stickers in half and make a smaller thing that you can open it up like a little book, and then write your message in there. The Johnson baby. So there you go. That is our class for today. I hope you enjoyed it and got some good ideas and some good inspirations. You can see I have a lot left over, so I will be making more of these. And I hope that you try it out yourself. Look how pretty they will look all on a shelf, a glass shelf. If you have a shop, of course, you can make up several of these too. They can be customized. People can write their own messages, or you can have pre-printed message cards as well for different themes. And if people just don't have time to make them themselves, you can sell them in a shop. See how it looks in the sun. It's so pretty. They're cute, so sweet. Okay. Thank you for joining